Welcome to my review of the first episode of The Last of Us. I know this is coming out super late and we're already 3 episodes into the series, but I still wanted to get all my thoughts out on each episode. So I played the game very recently actually, and I just really loved it in terms of the storytelling, both the first and second game. I'm probably in the minority when I say that I loved the second game more in terms of what it did with the characters and the story, but the first game's gameplay was much more enjoyable. So when I found out HBO was going to do a series on it, I was very excited because I think HBO has some really good stuff as well, and I feel like they're more likely to do a better job. So for me, it was a solid first episode overall. I wasn't completely wowed, but I felt like I was in good hands, and the show really respects the source material and wants to do it justice. And I'm very interested to know how people who haven't played the game or know anything about the game feel about the show so far, just based on episode 1, because it seems a bit slow and boring for a zombie apocalypse show. And if you don't know what's coming, then I'm not sure what would hook you to keep watching. So for those of you who haven't played the game, did the first episode make you feel like the show was unique and worth following, or did it feel a little slow and boring and you're still not really sure whether to be invested? In terms of the casting, I think everyone is generally very solid. I especially like Joel, Tess and Marlene. And I'm still not entirely sold on Bella Ramsey as Ellie. I think she made a very good first scene when she was kicking the tray and counting to 10 and then swearing at the fireflies. But in her scenes later on, she comes off as a little too strong or aggressive, I guess is the word. Not that that's a bad thing for girls to be aggressive, but it just didn't feel like Ellie from the game. So Bella Ramsey's Ellie just seems a little bratty and slightly annoying, but who knows, maybe she'll grow on me in the later episodes. So for changes to the game, I really love that they gave a backstory to the zombies, and fungi is such a unique idea and it makes sense in the context of the show. And now let's talk about Sarah. It was great that we got to spend more time with her, and the slow reveal to the apocalypse was done very well, very foreboding. And Nico Parker, who's the actress who played Sarah, I think she did a fantastic job in getting us to care about her in the limited time that she had. Though one scene that I was really looking forward to that I wasn't completely impressed by was Sarah's death. I didn't find it as impactful or emotional as the game. I could be one of the few who thinks that. Maybe it's because I already knew she was going to die. But the scene in the game just felt more raw, and the dialogue seemed more on point. And I think Joel should have said Sarah's name while she was dying instead of just calling her a baby girl. But that's just a personal preference of mine. I also think that the series expects the audience's attention to be extremely high. Like there were just some details that you really have to pay attention to, and if you don't, you'll just miss it. For example, when they showed Sarah in class and her classmate's hand was twitching, and they had this foreboding music in the background to tell you that something is wrong. It just seemed a little random because the hand twitching was so subtle and not obvious at all that it just flew over my head. Also, just after Sarah's death, we cut to a scene where there's this random kid walking into, I guess, a QZ zone, and they focus on their shoes, on the kid's shoes, just for the briefest moment. And initially I was just like, who is this kid? And then later on, you're meant to realize the kid died because they show a kid's corpse wearing those shoes, and Joel tosses the kid's body into the fire. So we're meant to realize that the military who's dictating this world just kills children who have been infected. But at the time, this detail completely flew over my head, and at the end of the episode I was still thinking, who was that kid, and are they gonna come back? Are we gonna see them again? But after a second watch I realized that no, it's just to show that this kid died and the government is evil. And one other thing was the radio music codes. So when they have 60s songs means no stock, 70s songs are new stock, and 80s means trouble. So at the end of the episode, just after Joel's killed the soldier, and the radio comes on with an 80s song, and the camera pans upwards towards that iconic collapsed building. I didn't realize at the time that it was meant to forebode that trouble is coming. When I was watching it, I was like, there's gotta be more. There's a weird way to end the episode. But yeah, no, it just another detail that I missed. But it could just mean that I'm a terrible audience who doesn't pick up on these details. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a strong start. I'm not completely wowed, but I'm looking forward to every episode. Let me know what you thought about the episode and comment down below, and like if you liked this video, and subscribe if you want to hear more.